have said to me, so what's up with Morgan and smiling while she's talking about really difficult things? And it's so funny because I've known you so long and I know that's something that you do, and we both do it. It is a distancing from some of the situations we've gone through and some of the chronic illness or chronic mental abuse. But I also know that we have joy, and so it's going to show up. But just talk for a second about what it means, because I think that there's other people who are doing that and they're not in joy yet. Talk
Mm.
about that.
I'm so glad you actually asked that because I'm just like naturally a crazy happy person, just really, really happy person. But it carries through in other ways too that I didn't realize was a coping mechanism. So because my life, literally my whole life, but has been extremely traumatic, um, the way that I got through it was by cracking jokes, by making light of things, by smiling, by laughing about things, like even just anything. If I need to break up that tension, you know what I mean? So in order to, it's not disconnect. What am I trying to distance? In
Yeah,
order to
distance. Yeah.
from what I'm speaking about to make that boundary, that safe buffer, like for myself, I do this.
Yeah.
So everybody understands that. Like I'm not making light of the situation. I'm not acting like it's not important or there's not deep. This is one thing that this is one of my coping mechanisms.
Coping. It's coping. Yeah. And so it's interesting because people cope in different ways. And what's funny is that when you look at so many comedians commit suicide, so
Oh,
many happy, successful people, but like, why? Because people don't know. A smile masks so much. I want everyone to hear me say these words. If you have a friend and your gut is telling you something's wrong, but they're always laughing, they're always smiling, they're always cracking a joke, and you go, they're okay. Don't believe every smile you see. Don't believe every joke you hear. Don't believe every don't do it, because sometimes it's not true. And for me, one of the reasons I stuck beside Morgan when it was, I didn't understand it. We'll talk about it in another episode. I didn't understand. I didn't understand the chaotic laughter, the maniacal joking. I didn't get it. Because remember, we hadn't met yet. It was all through social media or Facebook or other, platforms, texting. But my gut said something is wrong. And it's only because I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed that she finally said, this is what's going on. And then she was able to not have to wear a mask all the time. And the reason why that's super important to me is because one thing I know about, and that is wearing a mask. I know how to do that well. I did it for years, not for domestic violence, for other reasons. I know about that. So when you know something, you need to approach it. Just like when you're on the subway platform in New York, from the East Coast. If you see something, you say something. That bag looks dangerous. Wonder if what's in there? It's it's ticking. And you don't call anybody? If it looks like your friend is ticking, do not leave her by herself. If your friend, if your sister, if your mom looks like they're ticking, please alert someone. Don't leave them by themselves.
it's important too that they realize that they don't have to tell you what's going on, but that you're just a safe place and that they know they can come to you because so many times, like our safety revolved around me keeping quiet.
Yes.
So people may not ask for help because they don't want to be putting their children in danger or their mom or their dad or their brothers and sisters or kids, you know what I mean? So just knowing that they don't have to explain themselves, but that there's an ear to hear
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
be really
And we'll
helpful.
talk more about that one because that one is a tough one. That I have to remind to write myself a note for that one because the truth is, unfortunately, in 2024, where everyone is voyeuristic and looks at everyone's life and watching, making videos of people sleeping, people want to know everything. And they feel like if you don't tell them everything and you actually guard the boundaries because it is making you safe, they automatically feel, oh, well, she didn't even want to tell me. And people get an attitude. Let's be for real, an attitude behind your protection, an attitude around you having walls when you need the wall. Sometimes you need them. At the same time, I'm still going to go hard and say, if you see something, do something.
Mhm.
Because maybe by you knocking on the door, they'll open it up a tiny bit. Like maybe it's just a crack, one eye, just a little bit. Let her know that there's going to be a listening ear on the other side. Or maybe she can't open the door and you have to press your ear up against the door. Let her know that you're going to be there for her.
Well, one thing that you always did is back in the day when we used Voxer, every single morning after I'd be driving the kids to school and I would drop them off, you religiously would leave me a message. You
Yeah.
religiously, whereas you were something encouraging or, hey, just thinking about you, love you, da da da. You know what I mean? The consistency from you when there was zero consistency in any aspect of my life, one was hard for me to understand and comprehend.
Yeah.
I did not understand it. Um, but it was what got me through.
Yeah.
It is knowing that you were going to keep showing up
Yeah.
and that you cared. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. All right, y'all, we're not gonna go deep on you every time. Sometimes we gotta it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this little video was brought to you by Getting to After. I'm Chatone Morrison, Princess of Positivity.
And I'm
That's what
Morgan.
Morgan Boost does. We'll be back. We'll see you soon. Peace.